A very good morning to you and welcome back. You're now on the Entrepreneur Spotlight on the Weekend Show. I'm Tenda Chimelu, and today we have a very special guest with us, Engineer Emmanuel John, the Executive Director of Emmanuel Mobility. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So can you give us a brief overview of Emmanuel Mobility? What is it all about?
Thank you very much. Emmanuel Mobility is a sustainable transport and road safety organization. Started far back in 2013 when we saw the need for strong advocacy and capacity building to change the narrative of transport development in Africa. And so we started as a group of young guys who want change. We want to see beyond car-centric development, the informalities that characterize our transport system, and all of the lack of planning in our system, and to see how we can change narratives, advocate for it, drive awareness so that people are not only aware, but government is seen to be doing the right thing by developing systems and transport initiatives that meet the needs of today and future generations. So we started that, and we have our core focus, which is capacity building, advocacy, and then research to ensure that we can bring out facts that will help decision makers take the right decision in developing transport systems in our society.
Interesting. So Mr. Emmanuel, statistics show that Abuja has one of the highest rates of road crashes in Nigeria, more than all the other states. And this it's kind of ironic considering that Abuja also has one of the best road network systems in Nigeria. So why do you think safety is such a big problem here?
Thank you very much. You mentioned the problem, you also mentioned the reason leading to the problem.
That's quite ironic, don't you think?
Exactly. As it is today, Abuja have more road crashes than Lagos, than Kano, than any other state in Nigeria. And the reason is very simple. The roads are good. And so people speed. It is obvious that when the roads are good, I give this example all the time. In 2013, during the presidency of Goodluck Jonathan, roads were repaired across Nigeria. There was efforts by FEMA to fix roads, and suddenly crashes jumped. Because once the roads are good, people speed.
Yeah.
And for highways, the speed limiter arrangement by the Federal Road Safety Corps being implemented serves the highways. But in the cities like Abuja, where the roads are good, the speed limiter is 100 kilometers, pegged at 100 kilometers maximum. But in the cities, you don't need to speed up to that to kill a pedestrian who is walking on the road.
Right.
And to that extent, we have this, and it's on record by the World Health Organization that 40% of those who die in Nigeria, in Africa, are pedestrians, people who are walking on the road. So if you look at that statistics carefully, you see that these crashes are basically cars killing people.
Yes.
And the reason is simple, like I said, we're car-centric. We develop systems that promote the car, and then the roads are good. Then you expect these challenges to be there. What we need to do, therefore, we need to move away, first of all, from building roads that are meant for cars to building roads that are meant for people. What do I mean? The Global Action Plan for Road Safety says speed in urban areas should be 30 kilometers per hour, for instance. And some of us have taken that as a responsibility. We went to the National Council on Transport and got that approved as a national policy, that in urban centers, speed of cars should be 30 kilometers per hour. And implementing it is this uphill task that people are not willing to cooperate, but of course our advocacy are on and training efforts are on to ensure that we can get everyone convinced and city authorities convinced to implement that. And that will reduce the speed, but importantly, we need to move people away from the car, put them in the public transport, and then ensure that people can walk, people can ride bicycle, and this is all our advocacy we are doing.
It's quite ironic that the major cause of the road crashes we have is the good state of the road.
Exactly.
So it now begs the question, should we go back to bad roads for safety or what's the way forward actually? So now you mentioned something about car-centric roads, which is relative to my next question, because in other climes and in most first world countries, you see people walk, use public transportation, buses, bicycles, you know, skateboards and all the rest, regardless of class or you know, economic status. But in Nigeria, it's kind of the opposite right now because everybody wants to drive and everybody wants to drive a good and beautiful car. So why do you think this is the case with us here especially?
There are a number of factors, but primarily in 1972, 73, we have what we call the Udoji Award, which was the fallout of the oil windfall. So much money came to Nigeria, and straight ahead, people got money, civil servants got cars for free from government, the NYC graduates, as you are coming from NYC, they give you a car, and cars flooded our cities. And as cars comes in, people graduate from walking and cycling into having a car. And the car-centric mindset was developed to a point that the car is spotlighted as a symbol of success. You can't come from the village, my village for instance, and then you are walking in Abuja, then you buy a bicycle and you go home and say, Dad, I just bought a bicycle. He will curse you and say, you don't bring shape to because people think he's riding a car that is evidence of you're doing well. It's a status symbol, it's symbol of success. And we need to deal with that, which is an attitude problem. And so that car-centric problem led to the fact that if all you think about is a car and you are an engineer developing the road, all you think about is developing a road that fits the car. And so we have curriculums of engineering, civil engineering that has been cultured to develop roads that are meant for the car. We have infrastructure development generally from the budget perspective that says put all monies on the road so that the road can be good and then the person who is driving the car will not have any problem on the road. I've always given an example of Area 3. If you remember, before they built the current barrier in Area 3, crossing the road there, a pedestrian bridge was built that has about 300 meters from the point of crossing because they need to build something that will make the car continue to move. And a lot of people refused to use it, and many people died in that place because they forced themselves to want to cross the road because the city is built for the car. And we need to deal with that from the perspective of infrastructure. We need to change mindset. We need to get people to understand that cities belong to people first of all, not to the car.
Amazing, amazing, Mr. Emmanuel. So finally, I hear you have a project, Open Streets. Can you tell us what that is all about?
Thank you very much. Open Streets is a citizen-driven initiative working to change this mindset we're talking about. And what do? We close a busy urban roads to cars for a period of time. In some countries, they do it a whole day. In some places, 6 hours. So in our case, we started in 2019. We've done 3 editions, and the 4th one is coming up very shortly. And the whole idea is that cities belong to people. Persons with disability, children, women. I'm not sure this has occurred to you, that 87% of those we did a survey, 87% of those who are carrying more than 1 bag are women. Then you are carrying 2 bags. It has not occurred to you, right?
It hasn't.
And then the infrastructure is built not to accommodate the load you are carrying and sometimes carrying a baby. And infrastructure and transport systems, the vehicle is designed such a way that you want to enter a Rufai bus, for instance. If you are wearing skirt, you can't enter the bus except somebody helps you to draw you up because it's too high from the ground. You want to climb that staircase, a very steep staircase with your with your baby with 2 bags or even more, and then all of those challenges.
And there's even no provision for people with disabilities.
With disability, both on the roads and in the cars. And then we are saying an elderly person who is 80 years old should carry his walking stick and walk on the road within his neighborhood. Children should be able to come out to play And to that extent, we are saying, let's experiment it. How? Close a busy road, a road that is busy to cars, for a period of time. Let neighbors come out, sit out. Let children come and learn how to ride bicycle. Let elders, young people, old people, rich people, poor people, come to the road. Children will come. So we have developed a system in our own case where we have children debate on the road. Football match takes place on the road. Skaters
on the expresses,
on
the highways now, right?
On the express road. The first edition we did was from Area 1 roundabout to Area 10. We closed the entire street and people had fun for 6 hours, from 6 a.m. to 12 noon.
Amazing.
The second one we had was from Berger to Wuse Market. We closed the entire road. Children came out, women, everybody who have the need, you want to ride bicycle, you want to learn how to ride bicycle, you come to the road that day and you are taught for free.
So basically a no-car day. Thank you so much, Engineer Emmanuel John. Thank you so much for this interesting discussion. We hope to see more of you on subsequent episodes of the Entrepreneur Spotlight, because we need to continue on this conversation. It's a different level of awareness that you're giving to us right now. Thank you so much for coming on the show. There you have it, people. Engineer Emmanuel John, Executive Director of Emmanuel Mobility. Well, it's a wrap on the Entrepreneur Spotlight, but don't go anywhere. We still have many more segments coming up right after this short break. I'm Tanda Chimelu. Have a great weekend.